Integrated marketing communications, or MARCOM, is one of our 4Ps: promotion. And marketing communication clearly has evolved over time. But regardless of the specific method of marketing communication, the goals and tasks of promotion tend to fall into one of four areas: informing, reminding, persuading, and connecting. And oftentimes there are different goals at different stages of the product life cycle. In the early stages, introduction and early growth, basically you're trying to inform. Then as you move up, you're trying to persuade more when you're in the growth and the early maturity stage. In the mature stage, you're constantly reminding, and at all stages, you want to connect to your target audience. Well, let's take a look at those in each of those stages of the product lifecycle, starting with informative promotion in the introduction and early growth stage. What you're trying to do in that case is to increase awareness, explain how the product works, suggest new uses, and just build up the image of the company or the brand. Then as you get into growth stage, later in the growth stage and into the early maturity stage, you're really trying to do more persuasive promotion. And in that case, you're trying to do things like encourage brand switching, change customers' perceptions of the product attributes. You want them to buy right away, so influence immediate buying decision and get people to call if it's some sort of direct promotion. As you move deeper into the maturity stage, typically you're doing a lot of reminder promotion. You just want to remind customers that the product is there and may be needed, where to buy the product. Just stay aware, top of mind awareness for the customer. There are a number of different elements of the promotion mix, different promotion tools to reach the target audience. The key promotion tools in the marketing mix include advertising, public relations, sales promotion, personal selling, and social media. And we'll take those one at a time, starting with advertising. We're going to get very, very deep into advertising in the next chapter, but advertising is most commonly distributed by traditional media, although increasingly we're using non-traditional media. Advertising advantages, well, or excuse me, advertising media, before we get to the advantages, the traditional media are things like television, radio, newspapers, magazines. Those are the big ones, but also pay-per-click advertising, banner advertising. Those are both internet, direct mail, which of course comes via snail mail, billboards, outdoor advertising, transit advertising, subway advertising, and bus advertising. The emerging media, of course, include websites and other interactive email and blogs, but also videos, video games, and interactive games. Now, the advantages of traditional advertising, well, you can get to a whole bunch of people, so reach a large number of people relatively inexpensively, low cost per contact, and because media targets can be narrower and narrower, you can be micro-targeting your customers. Even though the cost per contact is high, because you contact a lot of people, the total cost is high. And if you want to go everywhere, like total US, national reach is very expensive. Of course, the big boys, Budweiser, Pepsi, Coke, they can do it. But for small companies, it's very, very difficult to use national advertising. Next element up in the promotion mix is public relations. Public relations is basically trying to get free exposure for whatever it is that you're trying to market. So it's using the media to give you that free exposure. Most public relations is proactive. In other words, you're trying to get the message out in advance. You're proactive. Occasionally it's reactive. Let's start with proactive. You want to be the good guys. You want to maintain a positive image, educate the public about the company's objectives, introduce new products and support the sales effort, and generate favorable publicity. That's what you're doing most of the time in public relations. Reactive is when something bad is happening, and you want to minimize that negative publicity. This would be for things like the BP oil spill, and of course they did a horrible job of reactive public relations with that. We'll get much deeper into public relations in the next chapter, but I'll just give you a little hint as to what you might try to do. Most people don't use public relations very well, in my opinion. They put out press releases, and those press releases never see the light of day, and the reason is it's not the job of the media to be your free publicity organ. So most press releases are not successful. What you want to try to do is have newsworthy information in your press release. Well, then it is news, and then they might include it in their newspaper or their local television or radio show. Of course, it's more than just getting mentions in media. It's getting exposure, non-paid exposure, in a number of different places. And I'll use something from my background to make the point. At David Sunflower Seeds, we always knew that there was a natural connection between playing baseball, watching baseball, and chewing sunflower seeds, and we did everything we could to foster that connection. And of course, because we wanted to get that started with consumers as young as possible, we went after young baseball players, Little League. And I've got to tell you, I worked so hard on trying to get interactions with Little League at all levels, local Little Leagues, all the way up to the national people in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Worked very, very hard on trying to put together a program along with this Little League official How to Play Baseball DVD. Literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of person hours spent on this, and nothing ever became of it. It was very, very difficult to work with the Little League people. Unbelievably enough, even though we weren't successful working with the Little League people, we were successful working with the major leagues. And one thing that we had going for us was a lot of Major League Baseball players chewed tobacco, and that was considered to be kind of a nasty habit. And we had an ally in Hall of Fame sportscaster Joe Garagiola, pictured here with Yogi Berra, his close friend. Joe Garagiola was very much of an advocate for getting chewless tobacco out of the dugouts. And so what we wanted to do was to get them switched over to David Sunflower Seeds. And I've got to tell you, we were very, very successful at doing that. The whole story will come later. But just suffice to say, that was a very, very, very successful PR effort on our part that cost almost no money. Next up in the terms of the promotional mix is sales promotion. Sales promotion are attempts to get people to buy right now. So give them an incentive for a very, very quick decision and purchase. Sales promotion includes things like samples, contests, premiums, which is a freebie that you get for buying another product, trade shows, which is where industrial buyers and sellers get together, giveaways, vacation giveaways, and coupons. Now, your target for sales promotion could be end consumers. It could be trade customers. That would be for things like trade shows. It even could be company employees. Well, we will get deeper into sales promotion again in the next chapter.